Transfer news, Manchester United, silly season, ins, outs. Who would you sign if you were Erik ten Hag? Who are the transfer targets for the centre-back? Is it Brantwaite? Is it Todibo? Is it Yoro? Or who is it? What is the situation with Brantwaite? Will Manchester United cave in and pay the 75 million euro? Let's find out. Will Manchester United sign Milos Kerkez, the important left-back, and Jeremy Frimpong as well? Let's find out too. But hey, everyone knows the United needs reinforcement in the midfield. What's going on there with this CDM? Will Manchester United bid for Jao Neves, or will it be a Joseph Fofana? Let's dig into it. Michael Olise, the race is on. Chelsea versus Manchester United. Who do you think will win that race? Will Manchester United be victorious? And winner chicken dinner, you need to have a striker to finish that dinner. Who will be Manchester United's secondary choice striker? Will it be a Zirkzee? Will it be a Cunha? Or who will it be? That is the mystery and the story of today. Sell to buy. That's right. Manchester United need to sell players in order to buy. According to the latest report, what is the transfer budget and who is on the outs? Will it be a Victor Lindelof? Will it be a Jadon Sancho? Will it be a Mason Greenwood? We don't know, and that's why we love the transfer season. Please get into the game because here we bid. Let's bid. Good evening, everyone. It's Friday, TGIF, and welcome to MUFC Realist TV with your host, Mick Ruby here, which is the transfer rating show and the Hodometer show. On this day, Friday the 28th, we are actually a couple of days into the transfer window, and there's been a lot of news going around here. So in this show, it's more of an entertainment show as well, which is pretty much linked to the overall transfer window. Every single player that we're linked to, Brantwaite, in terms of who do we going to sign, what is going on with Todibo, what is going on even with, let me see here, we have so many, Manuel Ugarte seems to be so hot as well. Who will be Manchester United's first signing? Apparently, there's going to be 2 signings before we go on pre-season. Now, guys, you know what to do. Smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and get into your voting as well. Please go and check out the website and get your votings in right here, right now. This is MUFC Realist TV. Go in there. The link is pasted in the Q&A section. And we have no other than Mark Nurse also coming to the stage. Big up, Mark. How you doing?
Big up, guys. What's good? What's good? How is everyone doing tonight? Hope everyone is having a great Friday.
Yeah, bossing.
I got the glazes out. You know what I mean? It's always
we're bossing it. Out. Yeah. We are bossing it. There's a lot of movements, Mark, and we haven't spoken for a while. You've been so busy covering Copa America and the Euros at the same. How do you do it, Mark?
Sleep less. Sleeping less, guys. Sleeping less. But it's been fun. Guys have been coming in, keeping us company, enjoying the watch-alongs and the streams. It's been quite interesting to say, you know what I mean? Both tournaments have a little bit of conflicting moments at times, controversial moments and decisions at times, but they've been entertaining in their own rights. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I rate the Euros 100%. I mean, we're entering again tomorrow, I think. It starts around the 16th. I've done my prediction on the beach with Alex, and I said, well, I don't think the 3 sleeping lions will wake up whatsoever. And we made a joke about that. Foden has scored 3 kids now, and that's actually scored more than with his missus than he's actually done in the Euros.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting with England, right? For me, I'm not a huge fan, but at the same time, I think they always present a very, very qualified team of quality players that should be amongst the best. They should always be one of the top teams in any tournament that they go to, based on the quality of players that they could draw from in their pool of talent. And it's just always weird to me that the best teams and the best players in England, they all play attacking, expansive football.
Yeah,
and the coach plays a low mid block with a back 5. It's weird. It's interesting.
So before we continue the show, guys, I gave you a little bit of an introduction what we're going to do here in this transfer. It is a new show, but it's also very interactive that you guys, the viewers, have an opportunity to engage,
Give your ratings on every single player that we're linked to. Give it a hardometer percentage from 10% to 100% what you think. To give you an example, the way you can do that is go into MUC Realist TV. There is a description. Basically, you can go in here, Brentware, what you think. Give it a 10 to 100%. Like a 100% means done deal. You think it's going to happen, you know. But that is kind of cooling off a little bit. And then you can go on Todibo, the legal class section that's going on in the, what do you say, arbitration of sports in Desan, Switzerland. Looks like we're going to get Todibo locked off the jail as well, like, as per well. So there's a lot of things that's been going on, but I just want to give you all a massive shout out. And since me, Mark, haven't done a show forever, I give you the opportunity to say hello to the loyal VR rooms. We have Majesty Mike in the house as well. Jack Hoff is also there. Who else do we have there, Mark? Who do you see?
I'm seeing Sandra Myers saying big up
yes,
Mark
Sandra.
and big up to Mick. Seeing Lucky
Hello,
Singh
Sandra.
saying Greenwood has confirmed ready to leave. Big up to him. Big up to Shabazz Kera coming in. I mean, I'm pretty sure the link is going to be dropped shortly, so you can probably come in. Big up to you, J United. Big up to Danny B. What's good? What's good?
What's cooking this Friday?
Bro, I did get some jail time on KG stream, but the guys are trying to do me. But you know what? I got some receipts for them coming up next week. I'll be back. Don't worry about it. I see Dark Crow is here. Big up to Stephanie Griffith as well. 100%. Excuse me. Big up Jeff Steele in the building. How's it going down under? Is it winter down there right now at this moment? I know Kenny Fan TV is from down under and he's going through the winter at the moment, guys. How are you doing today?
Yeah, good. Mark, so listen, I don't know if you caught up much about the transfer news, what's going on today. Who do you think is going to be the two first signings, if I may ask you directly? I haven't spoken to you for days. I don't know where you've been hiding, but you've been sleeping under the Copa America and Euro Rock. But I want to hear from you. Who do you think will be the first two signings?
I pretty much think Manuel Ugarte is a done deal waiting to happen. You know what I mean? And for some strange reason, I'm worried about the quietness behind Jao Neves. I feel something is gonna be done there very soon. But I also think we might bring in a midfield and a defender at first. That way we could put pressure on other situations and targets that we might want in those areas, and on the deal. So I think definitely you would probably see maybe the backup option of Matthias de Ligt coming in because, he has the familiarity with Ten Hag. Bayern is reported by Christian Falk. They're ready to do the deal. It's not going to be something more than 40 million. So it's something I see pretty easy. I know that we're in arbitration for Todibo signing, as you said, Mick, before. Even if we sign him, the worst that could happen is we can play him in the Europa League, which I don't think is a big problem. In my opinion,
I said that as well, yeah.
You might want to get, I just think that they might want to get in a defender that could use all purpose first. That's just me.
Yeah. Listen, David Ornstein tweeted about 1 hour ago as well, Manchester United seriously consider move to sign Matthias de Ligt from Bayern Munich. No club talks yet, or certainly move happens, but FC Bayern centre-back increasingly viable option for MUFC, independent of ongoing Jared Brentwood interest. Now that Jared Brentwood saga, I just want to sort of nip it in the bud and move on. I think that Everton is not reluctant to sell them. I think they're holding the guns. They want silly money, 70 million. Do you think Manchester United would come in the dying minute? Because apparently they need to make this deal before Sunday or Monday, right? Which is before the 1st of July. So apparently they put in a 45 million bid plus 5 add-ons. There's some conflicting reports. But do you think that they will move away and hence they're using this Matthias de Ligt? Or, I mean, do you think we should go for Matthias de Ligt for 30 million instead of, a 60 million pound signing for Jared Brentwood? How do you see this? You're on mute. You're on mute. You're still on mute. Whoops.
Sorry guys. I think that the Jared Brentwood deal is problematic based on the fact that Everton is not really trying to do business with us. They're not trying to work matters with us. You know what I mean? Like we know they probably want at max 70 million, 80 million for the guy, but maybe we give you 40 or 45 and you say give us 10 plus or 5 or 15 in add-ons over 5 years or something, you know. But they're not really down for that. They want as much as they can get up front, and it's problematic. I don't think we want to spend that much on a single player. I think we have a marquee signing in our view and in our sights, and that marquee signing is probably Jao Neves. So I think that's probably the only way
I believe so
70,
too.
80.
I believe so too. Yeah, why do you think it's Jao Neves is the marquee signing, or what's your rationale behind that?
I feel like we haven't really. If you notice all the players we've been linked to, there've been many links, right? But the Jao Neves links, we've reported to have placed 2 bids already, and of those 2 bids, the first one being 45 million, the second one being 58. You have to know that if they're willing to take somewhere in the region of 65 plus add-ons, we're not far.
You're talking about British pounds and not euros, right?
I'm talking about British pounds, not euros, because if you consider it euros, 65 is somewhere in the region of 75 million, which, you know, you can do 20 million in add-ons. You could do 10, you could do 5 over 5 years, 5 a year. You give them 5 a year, that's, you know, 5-year contract, that's 25 million. They get their 100 million or close to as about. And the player has not signed a new contract. He's not in talks with them to sign a new contract. And that gives me a little bit of confidence that maybe, you know, there's some discussions to be had. He's interested in a move. He's thinking about it. And it might force Benfica to do something they don't want to do. And that's,
you know. And another thing to add on to the deal is that we have good relationships with Benfica. The intermediate in between it, not the agent, the intermediate is actually Jorge Mendes. And Jorge Mendes has been there before, between the clubs. And you don't go there and ask, like, you know, how can we facilitate this deal? What is the bare minimum you can accept? And the reports come out that Benfica are in financial constraints, they need to sell, and they realize they're not going to get 120 million euros for him. And plus, he hasn't played much. His value hasn't really gone up in the euros. So there is a deal to be made. But for more, I think that, you know, Ineos as an establishment, the way we are moving forward now with the appointment of the backroom staff and the assistant coaches, now that it's been sorted, now it's the style of play that we want to play. And I see that Ineos wants to make a marquee signing, like a crowd pleaser, like, you know, a shirt seller, right? So you can see like the links with the, you know, in terms of what we are going to say with Ugarte, you know, that is solid, right? He's a destroyer, but he's not really a ball carrier, right? So we're looking for 2 midfielders because Christian Eriksen is going to leave as well, and most likely you would say that Casemiro is most likely to departure as well. So there is money to be spent. But, you know, Ugarte is a one that is the destroyer, like a Fred 2.0 times 5, right? That's what you get with Ugarte. Fantastic, like defensively, but a little bit suspect, like on ball distribution and carrying the ball. But this is where you get an hybrid number 6 and 8, which is pretty much what I believe, what you said there. The marquee signing should be Jao Neves, right? And plus, you got to also think about the youth academy, like Collier as well, like, you know, which is an up and coming from the academy that can play the number 6 role as well, right? So that's what I see. Like, you know, I think we are linked to many midfielders, but this one has legs, and the reason why it has legs is, you know, Xavi, like, you know, he didn't want, what's his name? Not Xavi Alonso, sorry, PSG coach, sorry, and Luis Enrique, right?
Luis Enrique.
So the story is that they bought, you know, Manuel Ugarte before Luis Enrique appointment. So when Luis Enrique came in, he didn't favor him. He didn't use him because he wasn't fitting his style of play. Instead of that, he started to play Vitinha instead, which is more of possession-based football. So there's been pretty much told that, hey, you can go if you want. Is it him saying like, well, I'm not getting minutes? So he's pretty much fancied to come to United where he's going to get a lot of minutes. And they bought him for 50 million. So they're going to recuperate 40 million approximately. They're going to lose 10 million. But that is what you get. Like, you know, it's not gone up in value. It's gone down 40 million euros. And you can do that deal. And it looks like it's very hot at the moment because there's some credible sources coming up from the Uruguay, ESPN Uruguay. And they have very much finger on the pulse when it comes to Uruguayan players. Fabrizio Romano in all glory, like you can't have your fingers everywhere, your tentacles, like you can't pick up everything, right? So I believe that Manuel Ugarte after the Copa America will be a pretty much, here we go, what do you reckon? It looks like it by the read of the reports.
I mean, you hear the players interested in the move as well. And, you know, if there's a deal to be done, Also, you know, you have to remember they have Zaire Emery, who's also another reason why he's not getting game time, because Luis Enrique apparently favors Zaire Emery as well. Big up to Jacko for that comment. You know, so it's. I think you might see Ugarte could be the first signing. His deal is around the price range. We have 50 million in cash to spend before July 1st. He's within and around that price range. It could be him. So it's
Could be
either
him.
him or
So,
Ligt, in my opinion.
yeah. So in summary, then I'm towing your line. I think the two signings that we will sign is Zirkzee and Ugarte. This is two signings that I believe will be the two first one. I think that Brentway is kind of fizzed out. Like, you know, we're pretty much going to walk away, and I think rightfully so. Like he's a like, you know, 21-year-old. What experience? Like 1 year in PSV and 1 year in Everton in the first team. Ain't worth that money, and plus 140k wages. Like, you know, forget about that. Like I'd rather see us go for Todibo, which we apparently are, and I'd rather see us go for, like, you know, Goncalo Nacho or something else, which has more experience as well. So Todibo, that one is to watch. And I think that I agree with you, what you're saying, the two first signings. Looks like it's going to be Ugarte as well, and Zirkzee, which is also release clause opening up in the 1st of July. Now, Mark, another thing is that if you notice, we are going for easy deals, which has release clause, right? We're also talking about midfielders, because that is two areas that we need to address, according to my opinion, which is
100%.
centre backs and the midfield. Now we're going to get stuck right into the transfer ratings, people. But before we do as well, guys, I want you to do me one thing, and that is for free, and that is going to help the channel massively. And first and foremost, you need to go also to subscribe to Mark's independent channel as well. So Mark is part of my panel as well, but he's got his own channel. But you know what to do. That like button, that is up to 100 likes minimum. And if we do get 100 likes, Mark has promised he will do an M&M rap and a chicken dance combined together. It's Friday. It's a giveaway.
It's Friday.
It's a deal.
Big up, big up. Yeah, I mean, like, I pretty much agree. I think, you know, there's some business to be done. I know a lot of fans have been worried, you know, or thinking that, you know, we've been moving pretty slow, but I actually think that we're moving a lot faster than we normally move. I think if
Yeah.
you listen to some of the news and what they're saying, and not just the links, you'll notice that there's a lot of talks being had with different players, different agents, intermediaries, right? Normally, we link with players for a month before we start talking. Then we're talking for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you know. But in another note, we always said that we're going to spend money from July 1st anyway. So it
Yeah.
was never a deal where I was going to stress about what happened before then. Big up to you, Gaming Simp. What's good, Berber?
Yeah, we have legends in the
Big up
house.
to
Everyone
Alien
Lewis
Tenno
is
as
in the
well.
house. We have all our legendary members. Gaming Sims Berber is in the house. Jay is in the house as well. Jay United. We have Stephanie Griffith, one of our moderators. Shabazz. Guys, get into the game and start voting. And Alien Tenno just popped up and said, "G'day, Peter. How you doing?" Listen, speaking about that, I think, you know, you got to be reasonable, right? For me, it's very evidential. We have sorted out the backbone first. This is something that we needed, the backbone. You know, you got to have a spine and a backbone in order to crawl or walk or run, right? And that is what we've been seeing. Like, we got the Oman Barada over the line, which we attracted him, right? Citigroup, boom. We got Wilcox in as well. Like, used to be working for Citigroup, the academy, you know, and spent 10 months with Southampton as the sporting director. He's acting now in a dual role. Like, you know, he's doing the technical director and helping out with the recruitment. And also Dan Ashcroft, lo and behold, he's stuck in the court of arbitration. I think he will be released from jail soon. And also Gary O'Driscoll, the medical department, right, which is the head of physio and sports department. So we kind of sorted everything. And plus moving on now to the coaching department. So that is the backbone, right? That is your spine. That is your backbone. Ten Hag, new contract. And part of the contract means that you're going to bring in the coaches that he wanted to bring in as well, that will help him to play that style. And that is no other than who? Oh, Robin van Persie, right? A lot of respect. And plus, you know, Henke as well, right? René. Oh, René. René Henke as well. So, and that's the departure then of, you know, Mitchell van der Gaag and also where you say like, you know, McLaren, and also potentially like, you know, Benny McCarthy is also leaving. So that is the backbone that needs to be sorted, and then you go and tack the actually what are we going to play, who are we going to hire, who are we going to recruit. Big up Jarvis Cocker in the house. Jarvis in the house, tell me how do you feel. No, anyway, Jarvis has been absent. He's been struck by the golf bug, right? You know, he started playing golf, like, you know, and he's struck by that. So that is the backbone, my friend, and the way I see it. You're still on mute, by the way. Is there anything interesting going on there?
It's one of those things where sorry. But you know, like you were saying about the different targets and the different situations happening with the structure, you know, it takes time for all of these things to come in. I mean, Omar Barada starts working, what, 7 days? You know, there's Jason Wilcox already prepared and set to be the one overseeing all recruitment this summer based on transfers as the acting DOF. So that's another thing that's out of the way. We have that set. They already formed their targets. You know, they're using the scouting. We can see that
they're talking already to agents.
Talent we've been linked to, the options that we've been having, and they all fit the profile that we need in different ways. So you see that working, and now we're filling the coaching staff with the right staff to match with the style of play that we want to play holistically.
100%.
You know,
100%. No, listen, like, you know, transfer window is open, but you're already talking to agents and the representatives, like, you know, because this Copa America, there's Euros, the players are involved in that, but you still have good dialogues with the agents, basically lining up the deals. There's plenty. I mean, there's a list of, you know, first signing, second signing in terms of persona profile in the midfield and the center back, and this is what they are working on, right? And trust me, if we don't get the first centre-back target, which will apparently report being Jared Brentwaite, so what? We move on to another target, which is equally good because they have already assessed it. So come the 1st of July, the new physical financial year starts. That means that you can register, like, you know, new signings, you know, to avoid the PSR and the profitability in FFP. There's a new financial physical year starting, and off you go, right? So plus I think that, you know, once Euros finish as well, 15th after the finals, you see a lot of movements, 100%. But I was saying that there is a deal to be made. There's 2 signings because it's been heavily reported that United or Ten Hag wants to bring 2 new signings to pre-season tour. So interesting that you say, because the way it looks like it right now, Manuel Ugarte seems to be hot. Like he said it himself, he's very keen to open. 90% to say he's going to leave. PSG don't want him anymore. It doesn't fit the style of play. So is they're forcing the hand. United are in conversation, and also reporting that Marcus Rashford and PSG and Marcus has been talking as well. So there might be something in this, right? That they offer us Manuel Ugarte for 40, and plus they get Rashford on the other way and pay 60 or whatever, 30, 40. And if we get 40 million pounds for Rashford and Ugarte on that, that is pure profit FFP, because Rashford is a homegrown talent. He's an academy player, and that goes bada bish, bush, bush. Done deal. But it comes down to Rashford.
It does. But you know, you never know what could be happening this summer. You know, we've been sort of being linked to like a left winger in 1 or 2 instances. You know, this youngster that we've been linked to recently, and Doy, he plays majority off the left. So I could see that it's a possibility, something that's probably be in discussion. Maybe there's you know, you can tell that during the season the relationship was a bit strained. You know what I mean? Like, I, for one, I'm always going to be critical of Marcus Rashford because he has all the mechanics to be a top player in world football, but the performances don't match the qualities. And in my opinion, it's something that you need to always pay attention to, because you want these players to come in, week out, and give their best, 100% effort for the fans, and it doesn't matter who is in the dugout.
100%. Yeah, 100%. So there was a story from Graham Bailey as well, and I agree. Like, there is a strained relationship, and you can see that on Rashford's body language last season. His output was horrible. His body language sucked. He fell out with the fans. He went on the lash, and the disciplinary action was non-existent because there was nobody above Ten Hag to support him, right? And plus, he had to deal with everything. You know, the injury crisis, the takeovers. There was a lot of things that piled up on Ten Hag. So. And that led to, they looked at it, they've done their strategic review. If you're going to play a possession style base of football, it doesn't fit, right? And Also, there is other stories to come in to say that new Manchester United ready to part company with Marcus Rashford. The club is not happy with the disciplinary issue again. So there've been also talks about PSG having a conversation with his agent, and obviously Manchester United must have given the green light to talk, right? Because they always said if there is an important offer, they're willing to listen.
100%. And I think, guys, in this current time and period, we should, like, even myself, I have my favorite players, but we should not be worried. If they get sold, they get sold. If they move on, they move on. Right now, United needs to evolve, and in order to do that, the squad needs to be rebuilt. At the end of the day, it needs to be rebuilt in the image of an attacking profile team that can play expansive football. And it's just a pure fact. And if we can get anywhere in the region of 40 to 61 million pounds, like Lucky is saying here, plus Ugarte for Marcus Rashford, well, you know, we're in
That's
the
a good
money
deal.
we want. Because that 40
That's
to
a good
60
deal.
million pounds will allow us to spend 180. If
Yeah,
you know, if
true.
you know, you know. So
True.
it's just
You
one
know,
of
you
those
know.
things.
Yeah, it is. Guys, I really appreciate, get your comments in as well. We will cover your Q&A at the end. Start with, you know, a Q and then your question, right? So we will star your comments, questions. If you want to super chat, donate memberships, do that as well. And that is priority as well. But start with your questions and we will, as we go on with the show as well. Let's dive right into it. Sell our assets at max value to rebuild. And that's what we're going to do, 100%. I believe so. I believe it's going to be a very busy window, but first and foremost, the deadwood needs to go out. You know, we got to look at players. Are we going to have a decision to sell McTominay? This is the last chance saloon. He's got 1 year left on his contract. You know, he had a good season. Some people argue to the point that, yeah, just keep him as a super sub, right? He's cheap, 60K a week. But this is box clever. We need to sell players, right? We need to sell players. And if you sell McTominay, that is still profit, right? Because he's also a homegrown talent, academy player that goes straight into PSR. If you get 30, 35 million, take it, right?
100%. And that also facilitates the room for more young homegrown players to come through from the academy. And, you know, there's 5 or 6 of them coming through. So there's no real big issue with homegrown. Because right now we have a whole, like, about 5 to 8 young talents coming through from not just this season, but from last season who are out on loan that's going to come back and provide that homegrown quota that we are missing. So there's lots to be done. There's going to be a lot of different change-ups.
100%. Sandra Mayers, Ugarte will fit United like a glove. Like, listen, let's transition. Guys, you had 30 minutes to get your votes in. Go into the MUFC Realist TV website. The link is pasted in the Q&A chat comment. You can just click on it, go in. And the thing is, we are going to do this interactive live. The way it works is basically you go in and give your rating. It's like similar what you do, the player man of the match rating, but this is transfer rating, right? Based on the current events, based on the reports, what we're hearing, we're going to vote. Like, so let's get this party started. Mark, Sandra Mayers, big up. So guys, go right into it and let's get into the game. Let's talk about Jared Brentwaite here. So we talked about Brentwaite in the beginning. It was hot. It was on an 80% hotometer. That seems to be cooling down, going to the South Pole, man, or North Pole. What's going on here is Everton are confident they don't really want to sell. They think they can get 75 million, that the United will crawl to the cross, but it's reported that they don't want. They're not going to do that. Mark, where do you stand with this one? Walk away, or do you think that Manchester United would come in with another bid in the dying minutes?
Well, if I was advising the staff at United, I would say walk away, walk straight all the way to Bologna, pick up the phone, let them know, listen, we don't just want Zirkzee. Let us get Calafiori as well. You know, we've seen him, we like him, we want him. We'll do a deal for both of them. That's what I would do.
True. Okay. Guys, get your votes in as well. I think that I agree with Mark. I think for me, I have a problem, right? As I stated before, is unproven entity, right? There is a talent. It might be a talent. There might be somebody that kicks off in a couple of years. But for now, this ridiculous money, the notions of 70, 75 million plus 140 million in wages is way too much.
I mean, Mick, it's the problem. The problem is we as a club have done so many good business with clubs in the Premier League. Really nice business. When I say just last season, we gave same Everton James Garner for £10 million, less than £10 million. And we've given them Ashley Young before for a very nice price as well. So I feel like they're not taking into consideration that we do business with them on a very good face value with respect. They're not trying to be respectful back to United. And I'm not saying that because I won the player. I'm not a huge fan of Brandwaite, but at the same time, if we offer 55 million or 50 million, of course they should be able to say, well, okay, we wanted 75, we're getting 50. If we could get 10 in add-ons, let's do the deal. You're not even trying to shake hands, and I think.
But 140K a week.
I know that's another thing that has me upset, Mick, because I'm like, wait, you're on 20K a week right now, 20K, right? 20K.
Bumping up to 140.
You want 200%, almost a 200% increase, or 1,000% increase, or something like that? Nah, bro.
Nah, bro. I agree with Sandra. Brent way away. Brent can wait. So, guys, from a hard meter perspective, guys, let's do this. Let's give it a vote. Let's give it a vote. All right. I will pull the trigger on this one, Mark. I think it's lukewarm. I think it's gone down from 80% to 30%. What do you think? Guys, get your comments in as well. What do you think?
Rating myself. I felt like the wage issue might give us a scare, because you know what? It's something reminiscent of the Anthony wage issue that we have. He's on a 120K. He used to be on 20K as well. I feel like that kind of huge bump, you can't give a player unless they actually done something or won something. You know what I mean? So if he was willing to take something like 17, 80K, maybe 90, I could stomach that. I could stomach it. You know what I mean?
Okay. Lucky Singh is saying he's also agreeing with me, 30%. Let's pull the trigger. Let's move on because we have plenty of players to cover. Mark, what do you think? Do you agree with 30%? Where do you stand with this deal? Where do you think it's going to end up?
I rated it at 30% as well myself, and that's when I was taking into account they trying to stick as much as they can for as large as a fee as possible and his wages together.
Okay, so let's pull the trigger on 30% and let's see what you guys have been voted. If you've done your homework, you know that you vote, and do it right now because we are pulling the trigger one by one. Here we go, 30% by me and Mark. And what are you saying in the VR room? Let's go. 30% is the vote. And we are on equal par because people are saying 31.43%. Big up to you guys. Thank you so much for providing your vote as well. Let's continue to the next player, because apparently this is the player that I want, and apparently this is the #1 centre-back target. If you read the reports and news, that Ineos really want this guy. This is the Rafael Varane replacement. He's a right-footed centre-back, according to my opinion. But guys, this guy is on a £21 million. If you convert that for pounds for euros, right? This is a deal that we can make. And you know, if you've been following this channel, if you're reading the reports, I've been constantly tweeting about this loophole. They have a lawyer in the sports of arbitration there in Lausanne arguing to the case. We can still sign him, but we can't play him in the Europa League. Basically, no UEFA Cup competitions. Anyway, so big up. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. So what do you reckon?
I like this signing. I think it's doable. I think the litigation issue is not that big of a deal. And what you said is totally correct. The only problem is we may not be able to play him in the Europa League. I'd still do the deal anyway, because you know what? He's going to be a very good player regardless. I think not having him in the Europa League doesn't make it a bad situation for us. It actually gives us the opportunity to add another player, another defender, and give him game time. So it would be good if we could do it. Big up, Jarvis. Good to see you, bro.
Hey, guys. Sorry for bombing the show. I will just stay on for 5 to 10 minutes because you know what? I'm going out golfing.
Yeah, you got the golfing bug, right?
Yeah, now I'm totally sold on golfing now. You know, it's so funny. I think about golf 24 hours a day. It's just the way it is, and
Usually,
a little bit football and Man United.
Usually, Jarvis, you should think about women 24 hours a day to do a hole-in-one, but you're thinking about golf now.
I mean, I've been doing that my whole life. Time for something else.
Jarvis, regarding the Brentwaite, like, and we voted 30%. Do you agree with that? That is a deal that is kind of cooling off a little bit.
Yeah, it's cooling off. I don't think it will happen. I think it will be too expensive, and we have several options when it comes to centre backs. And I think just Everton have priced themselves out of the deal, you know. And I think we are doing right. We should not go for the 70 million. We should say 45 maximum, take it or leave it, or we're out. That's it, because we have so many options now at centre back, and we are linked to so many players. So for me, I think Brentwaite is Brentwaite, but there's other players that are as good and even better, more ball playing, more progressive.
So what do you think about the Todibo? This is the one that we are most likely going to sign as well as a centre back. This is what we're working on. As I mentioned before, we can sign him in the Premier League, FA Cups and stuff like that, but not really to utilize him in a UEFA Cup competition. And this is something that, you know, Ineos is trying to solve, right? So we can utilize him 100%. Where do you stand with Todibo in the terms of the hodometer?
Mark. Was it Mark or me?
You.
No, me. Okay. Yeah, Todibo, I rate him, I like him, but I think it will be a difficult deal when it comes to United and FA and now the UEFA. We seldomly come good out of those clashes, and you know they're going to be a court case, but how soon will it be? These things can take time. You're talking about 6 months, 12 months before we will get a verdict. So I don't think we will get him this window. I'm sure we will get him, but not this window. That's just my gut feeling.
Okay, no, I think we will get him this window. These cases take very, very, very quick time. It's not like a court case. It's pretty much a hearing, a communication to follow the blueprint. And I think there will be the one. We still have the time, right? There will be something in the window, and they're working tirelessly hard. So I would think this one has legs. And I think from a hodometer perspective, if you're going to give it a vote, what do you think? What is your percentage chance? Mark?
Mark. I will give Todibo a 50% or a 60% chance, because like Jarvis is saying, I kind of think we would definitely do this deal. I'm just concerned if we're going to do it in this window or if we're going to do it in the next window, but I think we're going to do it because I feel like maybe we get an opportunity that comes in for a player that's probably a little bit cheaper, of a similar profile, that we could probably use in the meantime until the winter window, because by then Nice could be knocked out of Europa League.
Yeah. No, okay. So
60%.
So what's I put a 50% as well. I agree with you. Definitely. I want to hear from the VR room. Guys, get your votes in. If you haven't done that, go in and do it right now. So we agreed that it's a 50-50 chance right now, right? We do. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Move on. 50% is our score, and you guys saying 40.71%. This is what the public has voted. This is what we have voted. Let's move on. This is the hot one. This is the hot one. Lenny Euro, Lenny Longlegs, reports coming out that Real Madrid do not want to sort of meet that 40 million euros. They're kind of playing the long game, and reports are saying that he might favor to go to Real Madrid. But anything is happening, is possible in this window. There's a price of 40 million quoted. He is one of the options on the right, by my understanding. Where do you stand on this one in terms of hodometer voting, Jarvis?
Lenny Euro, I give it less than 10% if it's possible, because he's going to Real Madrid 100%. We saw Real Madrid, I think it was yesterday, Nacho is going to Saudi. So now there's an open spot in that squad, and they have the money available. So for me, he will go to Real Madrid.
Mark?
Yeah, I kind of agree with that with Jarvis, because I think Lenny Euro, he really wants to move. I think with the fact that they just confirmed that deal from Saudi with Yoselu, I think they're gonna put up the money, maybe 40 million, and do the deal with him. The only other way I could see it is if they probably tell him, like, if United make some kind of super amazing deal for him, you know what I mean? That just gets him the comfort of like 2 or 3 years or 4 years, and then he could go to Madrid after. I don't know. But yeah, I would put that more in a 30-40% kind of situation, because there's a possibility,
Okay,
but
so
it's not a strong one.
So 10% and 10%. 20.
20.
Yeah, 10
Okay,
for me.
guys, we're pulling the 10 for you. I don't have a 15, so I am still thinking there is a chance, and I go in 20. Let's see what you guys have voted. 20% I put, and the VRO put 34.29. So we're far off. We are far off, guys. Let's move on, because I know, Mark, you are pressed for time as well. You lost your phone for some reason and you recuperated or something like that?
No, I have to go pick up the missus' phone, so.
Oh, the missus' phone. Okay. We haven't heard much about Inacio here. Like, we were linked to him. He's still playing with Portugal in Euros. Let's move on quickly. Like, Jarvis, what's your score on Inacio?
Oh, I like Nacho. I think he's a really good player. If we could get our hands on a player like that, that will be fantastic. But when it comes to Benfica, no, it's the Sporting. I remember when we were going for a Bruno, when he came from Sporting, there was a lot of rumors, and the journalists, the Sporting newspapers, back and forward, and we couldn't land the deal in the summer window, and we had to wait until the winter window, because it's so difficult to deal with clubs like that, and they will try to get as much money as possible. So I think we should try to go for him, but we shouldn't spend our summer trying to get him. It's just give them an offer. If they don't accept, move on. So I don't think I give it a 30%, maybe 20% chance.
Okay. What about you, Mark? What do you reckon?
30%. I think there's a possibility we go in for him, but like Jarvis said, Sporting is one of those tough clubs to deal with, and they always try to find a way to get the maximum dollar, like Benfica.
30% is what Mark's saying. What are you saying again, guys? Get your votes in as well. Let's pull the trigger on 30%, because the panel has kind of come to a consensus. I put 30% as well, because there's talks. There is one of the center backs that we're looking. Obviously, we had lined up 3 different names, and Giancarlo Inacio is one of them. So, okay, 30% as it is now, maybe not the preferred choice. I think Todibo is the preferred choice. So let's pull on 30%. Here we press trigger. Boom. 30% is pulled, and you guys voted 34.6, so we are very, very close. Moving on to the next target, it is what came out from Ornstein today, that Matthijs de Ligt is one of the targets as well. And Jarvis, what happened to you? You pulled out.
I'm here.
What happened to Jarvis?
I don't know.
You there?
I'm here.
Oh, there you are. You're there. Yeah, Jarvis, he likes to play golf.
Yes, I'm here.
Matthijs de Ligt, there was a report from David Ornstein, a little bit of a snap update, that he's part of the list and we can get him for £30 million, apparently. And that is all depending what's going on with Brentway. Now, would you personally, knowing, his track record ever since he left Ajax, he flopped at Juventus, he was not favored at, Bayern. He was actually like, so now, do you think it's paper talk? Like, do you think that agent is utilizing Manchester United name for some reason just to sort of get the value out and get him out, or?
Matthijs de Ligt. He was a fantastic player when he played under Ten Hag last time in that Ajax team. We almost signed him at the time. We were extremely interested in him, but we couldn't land the deal. I'm not sure on him. He looks a little bit slow. I don't think he have the highest pace. And someone mentioned I think it was Compost Murphy mentioned, why are we going for the Ligt? Because we are going to play with the high line. So are we signing another Maguire 2.0? I'm a little bit skeptic, but he's good on his aerial play. He's good on free kicks, corners, heading. So he could bring something, and he's played on the Ten Hag before, but that's not the quality stamp because we know that Anthony played on the Ten Hag. So it wouldn't automatically be a good fit, even though he played for Ten Hag in the Ajax time. So I'm very skeptical. Personally, I don't want to sign him. So, but I think there's a 30 to 40% chance that we can sign him because of I think Bayern wants the deal done.
They want the deal done.
Yeah.
And that's the question that I'm going to ask to you, VR and Mark as well. This is my question to you guys. I see it as the agent is utilizing Manchester United name because it works in both ways. We are in negotiation with Everton. We are saying we're walking away, and Matthias de Ligt might be our next, what we're going to go for 30 million. And on the other hand, the agent is utilizing the link Matthias de Ligt and Ten Hag, and makes it kind of sound a little bit interesting. But David Ornstein came out to say that he's concrete, but there's no talks as of yet. Mark, where do you stand with this?
Well, my first choice defender this summer would definitely be Calafiori from the Italy centre back. But I think the Ligt Roumours are really, really solid. I think for one, he already plays a high line. Ten Hag played a high line at Ajax, so it's pretty a no-brainer that he would be able to play the system, play the way Ten Hag wants to play. He would know exactly how to play next to Lisandro Martinez, partnering him in that season where they went to the semi-finals in the Champions League as well. So I think he comes in and fits right into the squad. Whether he's the key starting defender, or he's a backup defender or alternative for rotation, I think we definitely need a defender with that quality and with that experience playing under our manager. Now, he might have had a bad time in Juventus, but he was still voted the second or third best defender in the league in that season. So it's kind of weird, he probably wasn't performing well, but his overall statistics was decent. So in a kind of way, it's like if and a maybe. You know what I mean? It could work, it could not, it might go bad, but I would trust that since he was his best under Ten Hag, being under Ten Hag again would bring him out. And well,
but do you reckon he could have a revival career coming to work under Ten Hag again? Do you think that Ten Hag could get the best out of him, considering now we're getting two assistant managers, that Dutch René Hancke and also Ruud van Nistelrooy, for example? Just an example, do you think that could happen?
Possibly, you can't say no for no. I mean, he might not necessarily be on 250k, Campos, maybe, they do a different deal. Now, we don't know what's the facts of the deal yet, but at the same time, if we pay 30 million for this guy, we already freed up something in the region of 600k a week, or 800k a week or something like that in wages already. So if we go and spend a 500k a week in wages for new players coming in, I have no problem with that, to be fair, bro. Let's be honest,
but,
you want to win.
Let's be honest. Let's be fair. I don't see this as a plausible deal. Why? Because we did everything to get rid of a high earner that was, Varane on 300k a week, right? So it doesn't make sense because this guy is on 300k a week as well, 250 plus the transfer fee. So that's going to impact your overall balanced scorecard sheet in terms of PSR, in terms of the overall FFP, right? Because the one thing United is trying to do is lower down the wage bill. So for me, I see it more as an agent-driven kind of linking United with it. It might have legs, but before we pull the trigger, guys, we have a very fantastic news today. Get your votes in, and we will be back in a couple of seconds, because guess what?
Super chat, super chat, super chat.
Super chat.
So we have a fantastic super chat from Alien Tenor. Big up, Peter. How you doing? And Peter, he's saying target Jarvis in his tweets.
Tiger.
T42. Tiger tweets. Four.
Well,
cool. Thank you, Peter.
To everybody who's listening, if you haven't tried golf, you should try it because it's actually quite funny. You know, I'm going around against guys who are much better than me, who have played a lot more, but we play on our own level. I have my handicap, they have their handicap. So there's still a competition, even though if I use 7 shots on a par 3 and they use 4, maybe I win because I have higher handicap. So it's actually quite funny and interesting, but it's expensive.
Do you play with gimmies and mulligans?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
do? They're very kind. That's cheating.
Yeah, I know, but you know, it's just friends just walking around and playing for yourself. You're not trying to be Tiger Woods. You're just trying to have fun.
I didn't see that, Jarvis. Hit it again. Hit it again. I didn't see it. Oh, it went into the woods. I didn't see it. Do it again, Jarvis. Drop it.
I played 2 rounds yesterday and I lost 7 balls in the woods.
Yeah, I noticed. You've been off the phone. I haven't been able to reach you for a week. Like, he's just totally married to the golf course now.
Yes. Yeah. Well, but I have to say the weather is fantastic at the moment. It's like 30 degrees outside, and it's beautiful outside. And you know, up here we have the midnight sun, so the sun is shining all day long, all night long.
Look, I'm a mad golfer as well. Like, you know, I'm a 9 handicap, right? So I know what you're talking about. It is such a beautiful mental sport because basically you're competing against yourself all the time. You get yourself in trouble, you got to get yourself out of the trouble. You get yourself in the bunker, figure out how to get there. So you always have to plan. Like, you know, you might hit a fantastic drive, it goes 250 yards down there, and then you shank it on the next shot, right? So it's fun, like, you know, because you play with other players as well. They might be better, and you want to improve yourself. So yeah, what's your handicap, by the way?
I don't have any handicap. I don't have any official rounds. I'm a beginner, you know. But this is a picture from yesterday, 1 o'clock at night. This is
nice.
Wow. Look at that. Look at the scenery.
1 o'clock at night you played?
Yes, 1 o'clock at night.
Holy shit.
That was the last hole before ending, and the sun was coming up.
Wow,
nice.
What a scenery.
That's
anyway,
amazing,
we have to. That's amazing,
guys.
Jarvis.
I'm sorry. I actually have to go. I'm sorry about that, guys, but I actually have to go catch the train. So
Big
thanks
up, Mark.
for having me. Make it sorry, guys, that I have to.
Yeah, listen. Before you go, we need your help. So what's your take on the Ligt then? Before you go,
I think it's gonna be more like a 30%. We could do it. It's possible, but you know, there's other options that we can do for less money. So I would say 30%.
30%. Okay. Big up, Mark. Thank you for coming in and showing your support. Take it easy,
guys.
And good night.
See you guys tomorrow.
Yeah. Jarvis.
Yeah, I don't have much time either. I can stay on for 2 more minutes. Sorry, Mick. I didn't mean to stand you up, but yeah.
You have to stay because we have gifted memberships.
Oh yeah.
All right. Okay, I give the Ligt 30%. And another super chat. I give the Ligt 30% now.
Yeah.
40. 30, 40.
Give him a 30%, but I don't think he's the one, to be honest.
He's not the one. He's not the one. Yeah, that's what he said. She's not the one. 30%, guys. I pulled the trigger, and you guys have 42%. And we got to move to brilliant Peter Eliantano. Thank you for your super chat donation. When you got the 19th hole, magic begins. Peter, get out of it. I love your humor. And we have Angie.
You can bring a couple of cold ones in your bag and just relax and have fun and talk with the guys.
It's
very relaxed.
Listen, we got to take a small. Yeah, we got to take a small break as well and be ready because we have 20 gifted membership from Angie. Thank you so much. Now, I have to go and check out who was gifted membership here, Jarvis. So you have to stay with me. Stay with me, please.
Yeah, if you want, I can read them out, or do you have them on your screen?
I have them on my screen. We can go easy because Angie just gifted magical 20 membership, and that is 20 like Jarvis's handicap in golf. I know his handicap, he told me the other day. So, Rush Maino, the legend himself, was gifted membership as well. Marty MUFC, welcome to the family. Coyote Omatoso also. Big up. The big guy was also, gifted membership. The big guy. Who is the big guy? The big guy. And Gary C was gifted membership. Trevor Wade as well, legend. Maria Steyer as well, legend Maria Steyer. We know who Maria Steyer is. And Sabriso and Love You as well. Andre J. Chao was also gifted membership. Philip Bidwell as well. Big up Philip Bidwell. Welcome to the family. That I haven't seen before. Brian Z was also gifted membership. And Denton Angus. Wayne Faircloth as well. Big up Wayne. Welcome to the family. And that's about no, and actually, and Andrew Phoenix as well, Michael Zakaria, and Ecos and Adam Harris.
Did you mention Jim D64 and Dave 147?
No, I didn't. I didn't.
Okay, I think
so. Big up to all of you. That's all, right?
That's all, folks.
That's all, folks. So, guys, thank you so much. Give Angie roses and flowers and say massive thank you and welcome to the family. And just you got gifted memberships. As I said, it's free. Angie, do it again.
Angie, isn't that the one song? This is a song where they sing
Angie. That's Rolling Stones, yeah.
Rolling Stones.
Anyway,
yes,
thank you.
Jagger, yeah.
Thank you. Listen, we got to wrap this up. We got to move on, right? Because otherwise, I'm going to be totally alone. Milos Kirkish.
I give him a high rating. I like him. I've seen he looked good for Hungary in the Euros.
He looks hungry.
Price
in
level,
Hungary.
I think it's a deal we can do. But I think we have to sell Luke Shaw first.
Yeah, Luke Shaw is out of the door. 100%. Luke Shaw out.
So it will be a late one.
It'll be a late one. 50%?
Yeah, 50.
50. Jarvis says 50. I say 50. Let's move on, guys. Let's pull the trigger on 50. And the VR room has voted 39.3%. Now, this is the interesting one, which is
this right?
Yes, they won 40 million, apparently, extortion price. He's not even worth 25. No. But we pulled the trigger already. Listen, Wan-Bissaka, latest report, the Turkish want to offer 15 million. Now, this is heavily linked in what we are doing on the market with release clauses. Jeremy Frimpong is heavily linked with Manchester United. He's got a release clause on 34 million. He's got good connection with Wilcox from the days of City Academy. Wilcox know him well. And this deal is all depending on if we sell Wan-Bissaka. His personally terms have agreed with the Turkish. He says he's happy to join him for a 4-year deal. What do you give Frimpong out? If this does happen, it's all depending on Wan-Bissaka as well.
Yeah, this is one of the rumors that won't go away. It's been constantly almost for all the season long. It started I think it started in August or something with Frimpong, and now it's just continuing. So I think there's a big chance that the clubs are in connection, and maybe if we can agree on the price. But I think we want him. Ten Hag wants him.
Yeah.
So,
100%.
but
Currently
I hope
stands
it will be one of those panic buys. But for me, I rated actually 60%.
Oh, Jesus, you're going hot. 60%.
Yeah.
I still because the hot meter stands on 40%, I'd be a little bit conservative. This is 50% for me.
Yeah, that's
guys,
okay.
what you reckon? 35 million buyout. 35 million buyout. I go with you, Jarvis, because you got 20 on handicap and you've been playing golf. So I go with you. 60% is what Jarvis is saying. What are you guys saying? Boom. Let's hit it. 41.2%. I should have gone with my gut instinct. But I think this is a deal that could be made, and all depending on what's happening with Wan-Bissaka, who was also apparently linked with West Ham, by the way. Defensive midfielder, this is hot from the press. This is the one that we think will be the first signing. It started from the other day. The rumors are intensifying. The ESPN Uruguay reporting heavily. He's not favored by Luis Enrique. He doesn't want him. So basically, he's keen to join Manchester United for a cut price of 40 million. 40 million. There's a deal to be made. How hot do you think it is? Because currently people have been voting and it's sitting on 78.5%.
The only thing that worries me is we didn't hear anything about this guy until yesterday. And suddenly, boom, it's all over the place. Could this be the new strategy from Ineos? Because I don't think they have any leaks. I think they're keeping a tight ship and holding their cards tight until the body, so nobody knows where they're going. And suddenly all this came out. So it could be something here.
Yeah, but this reminds me of how Liverpool operates. You don't hear anything, and in 3 days, boom.
Yeah,
deal's done.
That's the thing.
That's it. That's it. So I believe that we have a number of targets that we're looking at for Fana, XYZ. We're looking for, I think, 2 to 3 midfielders, and he's one of them. And if it's a cut deal price on 40 million, then you can also sell Rashford eventually. Like, you get, we get Ugarte and we sell them Rashford for 40, 60, 50, right? United wins. So I agree with what the general perception is on 78%. It looks like it's going to happen. Uruguay is playing in Copa America. As soon as that finishes, we're going to have potentially 1 week to hear. 80%, 70. You're still on the 70 defense?
I think it's a little bit high because we haven't heard anything from the player yet. It's basically agent talk.
He's spoken. He's spoken out. He's happy to join United.
Okay. Well, give it 80 then. But do you think this is the young Paulinho?
He's a young Paulinho.
Because
he's a young
version. Always speaks about Paulinho as the perfect player for Man United.
Look, he's not a ball carrier. He's a destroyer. He's a Paulinho type. Definitely 23 years of age, fits the mold. But you need another ball carrier, which we're going to get to the next one in voting, and that is Jao Neves as well, right? So this, for me, sounds like we are not going to keep Amrabat. This looks like it's an upgrade on Amrabat. He's got good ranging of passing. He can carry the ball, but he is a very good defensive midfielder, right? Yeah. So this is what you're looking for, a Paulinho or a Rodri, like in the midfield, a registra, like to hold up, really defensive, right? But you need to play like a double pivot sometimes, and you can play with him, Jao Neves, and potentially like Kobe Mainoo. So yeah, I give it 80%, right?
But do this mean that Casemiro is already sold, or does it mean that Amrabat is leaving?
Well, if they're moving on the market like that, they have an indication that the deal with Casemiro is advanced. We've seen reports with Saudi. He's definitely not going to stay, and Christian Eriksen is not going to stay either. So instantly there you have 18 million wage bill for Casemiro plus you recuperate some money, you get 30 million plus. You have Christian Eriksen that came from a free, that's roughly 8 million in wages. You have money to spend here, right? So for me, I'm not sure on 80%. I'm more leaning towards 70, 75, but okay, I go with 80%. Let's hit it. Let's bid. 80% we bid. Let's go. 78.8. So we equal par with the voting scores as well. Jao Neves is a rumor that won't go away. This seems to be the marquee signing. We're using Jorge Mendes as an intermediate. We can get a deal done. The asking price, what they want, is about 120 million euro, which they're not going to get. Benfica needs to sell. They're in a little bit of a financial situation. And Jorge Mendes has been the intermediate going back and forward. He's not his agent, but he's formulating this partnership to say the first bid went in. He went to Benfica to say, no. What could you accept? And they say 75, 70 million euros. And that's what I think Ineos will make a marquee signing. This is the one for the future, right? The resale value is brilliant. He's in hybrid 8 and 6. I like him. So you can actually play him. You can play Paulinho. You can play Collier. You can play Kobe. You can rotate. So this is a midfield problem that we've been complaining about because we had gaping holes. So I think that, this will be a fantastic headache to have, like in a selection. Where do you stand with Jao Neves? Because last vote was 43.5%.
Yeah, as a footballer, he looks fantastic, but he's young. He's coming into a young team. He's not very tall. So and we lack height in our squad, and especially in our starting 11.
But he's the ball carrier. He's the ball carrier.
Yeah, but then again, the physicality of the Premier League. And the thing is with young players, they get overhyped. I mean, I'm not 100% sure when it comes to players from the Portuguese league. We all remember Renato Sanchez, for example. Everybody wanted him. He was supposed to be the new up-and-coming star, but he had one season and then he was gone. So I'm a little bit skeptical because for me, I think I want us to build stability first and then go for something else. But at the moment, I think it's a little bit risk. It's a big risk for me signing a player like him at the moment. I would go for something more with more experience, who we know will bring his A game every game.
Yeah.
But it's a good signing. His value, everything fits with what Ineos want to do. So 50%.
50%. I think he's an English player. I agree with you guys. Guys, get your votes in. We are pulling the trigger. Let's bid for Jao Neves on 50%. And guys, there's over 200 watching at the moment, and even more on all platforms. If we can get over to 100 likes, that will really help the channel. Finger that like button right now, right here, right now. We bid for Jao Neves on 50%. Boom. We pulled the trigger, and it's 44% at the moment. So we're very, very close. What you're thinking and what we're thinking as well. Sofian Amrabat, it looks like there was some report he was in contention. He's got a couple more days until his loan deal expires. It looks like he's going back if we are going in for, the likes of, sorry, got a brain fart here, Ugarte, right? So Ugarte seems to be an upgrade and a better player than Sofian Amrabat.
Yeah.
I don't think we will keep Amrabat for some reason.
I don't think so either, but I would like us to keep him. I think he's a good player. I think he proved for everybody that he was good enough in the last 4 to 5 games of the season. And even then he said he haven't found his top form yet. He needs more games. We all saw what he did in the FA Cup final against Arsenal, against Newcastle. He was brilliant. I would like to keep Amrabat. I would give him at least a 2-year deal and just keep him.
I'm going to give you a case scenario, okay? If we get 40 million, apparently, cut price for Ugarte, the price of Amrabat is 20 million. We can get that. We get 2 CDMs for 60 million. You get my drift. Currently, we only have 1 fit CDM playing. One CDM, and that's Casemiro. So we need 2 for each position. Could this be a case that we are buying Ugarte and also triggering the permanent for Amrabat? There's broad days, there's a couple of days more left. There's actually a whole transfer window. But would you be happy if the United do that? Like, they sign Amrabat for free?
When it comes to Sofian Amrabat, we know that he can be trusted. Excuse me. And he's we know when he waited for the deal from Fiorentina to come to us, he just sat there in Italy waiting. We heard nothing.
He's a Man United player.
So for me, I think it tells a lot about Sofian's character. And when it comes to this, his contract loan deal goes out in a couple of days. But then again, I think he will wait for us. He won't go sour and go out in the newspapers and agents and try to disrupt the deal. He will just wait and be loyal. So for me, I think this is one of the things that actually could happen, Mick. I agree with your assessment.
Yeah. Nobody really knows. I've seen, some reports saying that, they talk about 4-year deal. And then Anthony Milligan, I've seen him also on Twitter that this talk to Amrabat is not going to stay. Nobody really knows what Ineos is planning to do. But I give that for now a 50%, 50-50 as it's swaying. Okay. I will do that. Okay, I pull a 50, what you guys are pulling. Yeah, 47.3, almost close. And I think if we do that, I think I'll be happy with that one. Seriously, I'll be happy.
We have more left because I really have to go. I'm 10 minutes late already. So,
yeah.
is it okay?
It's okay.
Yeah. So
Fine. 10
everybody,
minutes left.
thank you for tuning in, and stay tuned. Mick will bring the rest of the what do you call it, the hot meter.
Thank you.
Remember to hit the like and subscribe if you haven't, if this is your first time on MUFC Realist TV, and go in and give your vote on the hot meter, and I will see you on the next one. So everybody, peace out.
Hole in one, Jarvis. Thank you, Jarvis. Thank you, everyone. We're going to try to wrap this up very soon. Like, let's speed it up. It's Friday. I understand everyone wants to go back and watch the Netflix and whatever you choose to do. Another target that I want to talk about is Joseph Fofana. This is something that could be done for a very cheap price. And, you know, if you look at, you know, the persona profile, Joseph Fofana gives him more of a ball-carrying CDM. At the moment, you guys have given it a 25%. And I think this is a deal that could be done. 25 years of age, fits the bill. Depending on what happens with Sofia Amrabat, you might get two, because basically I think we need 3 midfielders, right? We need 2 CDMs and 1 extra, like in a hybrid 6 and 8, right? So I want to hear from you guys as well. So I'm going to pull this trigger on Joseph Fofana. As of yet, we haven't heard much of reports, not much coming out in the ether regarding our linkage with him. He's part of the list, but I think it's not the priority. So I will still give it a 30% chance. So let's bid for Joseph Fofana and let's speed it up. All right, let's do this. 30%, and what you guys saying? 25.3%. So we're almost close. We're almost getting there. In terms of getting players for free, like, we have discussions regarding Veronique Rabiot. Rabiot is out of contract. He is a attacking midfielder. He can play a hybrid 6 and 8. And I think that this has legs for some reason. He doesn't want to renew his contract with Juve. He's looking for a move, and United is back on his priority list. For me, this is a low risk. There's no fee involved other than his salary might be $250K a week. United can afford it. He brings experience, 29 years of age. And you guys in the last Hotometer gave him 60%. 60%. Now, I argue to the point that he's good. You need a little bit of leadership and experience. Like, you know, the midfield that we had currently and last season was not good enough. But all of a sudden, if we get Rabiot for free, what a midfield. How will we be cooking, right? Seriously, he's very good on set pieces, very good in the air in the final third. Similar to Casemiro, was very good in the air with the head. And that's Rabiot. And I'm arguing to the point as well, we're going to deal with his mother baggage, but she's not going to play in the team. It's Rabiot is going to play for the team. Could this be a possible signing? We got to be box clever. I don't know what the sign-on bonus is going to be. I don't know what his salary is going to be. 250, 300K a week, maximum 200, 250K a week. Alien Tenno is saying no to Rabiot. I do understand. But Alien Tenno, you're not going to marry his mother. Anyway, I'm going to pull the trigger because last time was 60%, and I'm going to say 50%. You know, I know that the Glazers like a little bit of a free transfer signing, and yeah, I mean, this is a box clever move. We'll see. I'll pull a 50%. Let's bid on 50% for Rabiot. Let's see what you guys are saying. Boom, 50. And we are finally on equal terms. I said 50. You guys said 50. That is the deal scene. In terms of Xavi Simonds, right? Another PSG, right? We are in good terms talking to PSG. Xavi Simonds do not want to return to PSG for some reason. They bought him, and his market value is currently on 70 million. That is a lot, right? He's currently on RB Leipzig. There is, I think the hot ones that are linked to him is another Bundesliga team, which is Bayern Munich. The question is, do you want to stay there, Xavi? Or it all depends on what happens to Greenwood, what happens to Sancho, apparently, because Xavi can play like as an attacking midfield. He can play on the left wing, right wing. Such a versatile player. And if it's a loan deal, what would you give the chance of landing him? Apparently, you guys have voted before on 70%. Get Xavi Simonds in. And let's see. Peter is saying, get Xavi Simonds in. And Angie was saying she was rating Rabiot on 10%. Guys, I think it's a 50 chance, right? 50% or even less. Talks, he's still in Euros. Netherlands are still in the last round of 16. Nothing will happen until then. But still, you can still talk to the agents. Apparently, we had the first initial contact with the agency to ask about it. Definitely, Xavi Simonds, let's pull on 50. I'm going to be more controversial on this one. I'm going to be more reserved, so I'm going to put 50% for now. Boom. Let's bid on 50. Let's go 56%. You see how close we are. Close-minded. Great minds thinks alike, people. Great minds. And this is Desiree Doué, 19-year-old from, what is it? Apparently 25 million is what we can get him. We lost the target on Elise, but this is also depending on, because he's a left winger and a right winger, can play both sides. Future Ballon d'Or winner, 19 years of age. We can get him for 25 million, right? We are having links with him, but also Chelsea's lurking around. They know what a talent he is. It all depends on, again, what happens to our wingers, like what we are selling, in my opinion. My humble opinion, if Greenwood goes, if Sancho goes, apparently, we're definitely going to get a Desiree Doué. You guys have voted 50%. I love to see that happen. I love to see it, so I will agree with you. I am going to bid 50% as well. Guys, this is going to be interesting. I don't have a drum roll, but I'm going to pull the trigger on 50%. Let's bid for Desiree Doué on 50%. Let's go. Here we go. 50. 52. Here we go. Jesus. We are definitely thinking alike here, guys. Thank you so much for voting as well. Let's move on. This we talked about in the beginning. If there was two signings that might be happening, that's coming in first, a lot of people been saying that Joshua Zirkzee is the one, right? I believe so too. You know, we know this story about the agent, you know, using Manchester United willing to pay the commission fee. Milan is kind of walking away, but we know that Joshua Zirkzee agreed first personal terms with Milan because that was the only bid on the table. Milan don't want to pay that commission fee. And there's a lot of Italian press, even Alfredo Pedula, even Gazzetta dello Sport, and even some British journalists are starting to beat the drum that this deal is now advanced, right? And the fact is that now we announced that we actually appointed two Dutch, you know, assistant coaches in René Hake as well and Ruud van Nistelrooy. If you're a striker and you know that Ruud van Nistelrooy is going to be the manager, of course you're going to go there. He's still in Euros. I don't think we will hear much about this right now, but depends on how far Holland will go in the Euros. I want to hear from you. I don't believe that Holland is doing great in the Euros. They've been not clicking. He hasn't really played. He's been on the bench. But this is a deal that can be done. 34 million pounds, apparently. Plus you pay the agent commission fee. And bada bish, bada bosh. Apparently, United will pull the trigger 100%. The player needs to commit to United. What you say, you know, I'm in the Euros. I don't want to think about it right now, but thank you. I understand that you're after me. But once the Euro is done, the deal is going to transpire very quickly. The release clause is open 1st of July. Now, Zirkzee, the Z. If we scores, it would be Z. You know what I mean? The Zirk. People are saying 7%. I am going to put myself on the 80% cap because I believe it's going to be Zirkzee leading the line next to Højlund as well. Guys, here we bid 80%. Boom. Shit, that's gone down. I was wrong. 70%. Okay, tread with cautious. Definitely. Since Zirkzee is one of our striker targets, predominantly heavily linked, the number 2 striker option is Matheus Cunha. I haven't heard much regarding Cunha. That's kind of been died out a little bit because Zirkzee seems to be the priority target. But if we don't land Zirkzee for some reason, if he goes to Milan for miraculous reason, Cunha, would you take him? Why not? Right? We currently have money to burn. I haven't heard any other striker links. Jonathan David, that boat has kind of sailed away. I don't even want to put Jonathan David. That's lazy journalism. Jonathan David has been there, like, you know, from years and years and years linked to United. Lewis Green, what you saying here? Good afternoon. Good evening to you, Lewis Green. What you saying here? How you doing, mate? I'm doing fine, Lewis. Fine. I'm just about to wrap up the stream. There's over 300 of you watching at the moment. So if you can do me a favor, Lewis, if you haven't, smash the like button, please. And any news coming with stuff coming and players are linked with how do you feel about it all? It feels like turning over a new page. Yes, Lewis, 100%. I mean, we spoke about that earlier in this stream, that it feels like it's a new dawn. Like, you're fixing the backbone. Like, you need to have a backbone before you can even walk or crawl or run. So that's what been, my opinion, is the most important thing being sorted. The backroom staff, Ten Hag, the new coaching staff, and then you going to the market to recruit the players that will fit the style of play, what you want to do. So I feel it's a positive. I do feel, but at the end of the day, Cunha, I give it a 30%. Boom. Shoof. That is what you also almost think, 38.5. Big up. Now we're going to move on to the deals out before we pull the hot meter trigger. Victor Lindelof is out, apparently. Turkey. He wants to go there. He wants to join Jose Mourinho. And thank you, Jose, for taking our deadwoods. You always do. We love you for this one. What is the percentage chance? You guys are saying 70%. I totally agree. I think Victor is going, and I will still keep on the line of 70% until there is a bid coming in. 70%, let's go. 72.9. See? Greenwood is an interesting one, guys. How many times we've spoken about Greenwood? There is so many clubs interested in Greenwood. The latest is Marcel from Ligue 1, right? Seriously, where do you want to play? You want to play in Serie A, which is a better league. You want to play in La Liga, which is a better league. And then you come with David Ornstein also saying that there has been some interest regarding Marseille and Greenwood, and they're willing, probably, they know that United wants 40 million euros for him. If not, Mason Greenwood will come back on preseason tour and training of 8th of July. Listen, at the end of the day, people saying that is going to happen 73%. I need to update because it's impossible to update where he's going to because it's been numerous links, Juventus, Marseille. So let's just stick to Juventus at the moment. Man, this is a sensitive one. Yeah, NG, what you're saying, I can see Ruben Mania as well. I can see, imagine if we get Rooney as a manager and Giggs as assistant with Cook, potentially one in the future. Listen, I'm a little bit skeptical right now. There's a lot of clubs bidding, but underbidding. There's a lot of, I think there's more clubs in for Greenwood that they don't want to be announced. Even some Premier League clubs are lurking around, probably, right? He's such a great talent, but the thing is, what the public perception thinks, that's another thing. But from a footballing perspective, he's a great player, right? 2-footed, yeah. And I'll be sad to see him landing at a rival club in Premier League. So yeah, be mindful for that one. For me, I think there might be a possibility that the Manchester United will not get 40 million, right, in this competition. Okay, I agree with you, 70% buy. Yep, 72.86, guys. 72.86. Oh my God, I'm so tired of this Sancho story, man. I'm so tired. The latest report is that Juve now wants to have him on a loan deal, right? On a loan deal. They know that he's not wanted at United. They know he's going to return back. He has to return back and face the music with Ten Hag on the 8th of July. What's going to happen? Will he train separately? Will he be eating in a separate canteen? Or will he just come home and apologize? The thing is that Juve wants to sort of a loan with an obligation to buy. Borussia Dortmund is playing the long game. We don't have Zimani. Man, it's a headache. Greenwood needs, Sancho has to go. For me, that is an 80%. He's gone 100%. 80% he's gone. Barabish, Barabosh, 78.5. We got to move on. Wan-Bissaka was reported today as well. 15 million is coming from Wan-Bissaka from the Turkish league. West Ham is also looking at him, and this is hot. I think Wan-Bissaka needs to go. I think Wan-Bissaka will go. I think he has expressed interest to say yes to joining a Turkish league. It looks like 45% right now, but I think this deal will happen, guys. I think that will happen. 15 million, you take it. He's got 1 year left on his contract. Let me see what Melis is saying. We can't sell most of this player. Nothing will happen in the same window. We can't sell most of the players, but we will for some reason. What you're saying here, Angie, definitely keep our Mason Greenwood 1000% sold if you're against it. I'm not against anything. I'm just looking for a footballing perspective that, you know, it is a problem from a PR perspective, like how you're going to integrate if you're going to keep it, but it's not our headache. That's the thing, right? From a footballing perspective, he's definitely what we need. Two-footer, can play on the right wing, left wing, can play in the middle as well. So imagine if the Zirkzee deal doesn't come through. Imagine if Zirkzee all of a sudden say, no, I'm going to go to AC Milan. Then you have actually Greenwood that can play that secondary striker, you know. So you got to think it that way as well. Wan-Bissaka, I think, you know, I think he's going to go. For me, it's more than 60% right now. The hot meter for Wan-Bissaka, judging from the latest report, the Galatasaray wants him, Fenerbahce are interesting, and then you also have West Ham showing interest. For me, 60%, watch out for this one. He's got it. Bid 60%. 46%, what you guys think. And that kind of wraps up the hot meter, guys. That is it. This is where we are at the moment, guys. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Currently, and we got to do this because we're going to reveal the hot meter the way it stands. And let me know in the live comment section if you're watching. I'm running out of juice. This is the hot meter. This is how you voted. Let's do this. So, guys, the hot meter has spoken. You guys have voted. This is the Todibo. Currently, we have the leaderboard. You guys are thinking the number one, the first one, hot on the press, leading the league is Manuel Ugarte on 70.7%. So basically, it's an 8 almost, right? If you do. The number 2 here is Joshua Zirkzee, as you can see, on it's like a 70%. Number 3, what you're also thinking is number 3 on the leaderboard on the hot meter is Xavi Simonds. It's a free loan. It's not a free, but it's a loan deal that could be made. Number 4, what you're also thinking on 52% is Desiree Doué to Manchester United. That is your top 4, guys. That is your top 4. 5th, and surprisingly, it's a free. 5th on 50% is Adrien Rabiot. I think that this might happen. He's a free, and this is similar what, you know, if we are looking at being box smart, Rabiot will fill that void. Amrabat, you think still that there could be a chance. Amrabat on 6. But the top 5 is what you are saying is Manuel Ugarte, Joshua Zirkzee, Xavi Simonds, Desiree Doué, and Adrien Rabiot. How about that? Big round of applause. If we move down below 6, we have Sofian Amrabat on 47%. We have Jao Neves on 44%, what you think, and Matthias de Ligt, you are not really buying into it. You're not buying, so you think it's 42% here. Jeremy Frimpong is a deal that could be made, but he's still on 41% on position number 9. Jean-Claire Todibo, it is gonna be a 40%, what you think. He's on the 10th place. So this is the top 10 people, top 10. Milos Kerkez is the left back. This is a deal that can be done. It's reported that Bournemouth, they want silly money, 40 million. We're not mugs. We want to pay 25 million tops, 30 million, and we will sell Luke Shaw. So that is 39% of Milos Kerkez. On number 12 at the moment is Matheus Cunha on 38%. Juan Carlo Inacio, a brilliant centre-back, is on 34%. And Lenny Euro, you lost the faith because you think that Lenny will go to Real Madrid. And I believe so. It's just hot, not anymore. 32%. Jared Brentwaite, who was the favorite, he was leading the leaderboard last week. It slipped down to 15th place on 32%. 32%. I don't think United will do the bid. I think that United had put the final offer in and they will crawl to the cross before Sunday, or they will not sell it. Simple as that. Yusuf Fofana on 16th place on 25%. And that kind of wraps it up on the leaderboard in the Hotometer. I just want to take the opportunity to say to everyone that's been involved, thank you so much for getting involved. There's been a fantastic show. We will be back next Friday for the next Hotometer. And I had Jarvis in here, I had Mark in here, and they all came on the left. It's Friday. I would love to thank everyone that's participating. Keep coming back here because I'm going to reset the votes. Keep going into MUFC Realist TV, the website. The link is here. Read all the latest Manchester United news and transfer, updated on daily basis. Keep checking the Hotometer score. Keep putting in your votes. And this we will do the remaining to the done deal to the transfer window is closed. So thank you. I really hope you enjoyed this show. It was the second time we did it. And hopefully next time we can get more people in. Tell people about the Hotometer, please. The more the merrier. There's over 300 now voting. And I don't know where we are with the likes, but if you do get the likes up, if you look at this in retrospective, don't forget to hit the like button. Let me go to the comments at the end of the day. Let me see what, yeah, Donny van de Beek. What's going on with Donny van de Beek? Is injured. 100%. Melis, what you're saying here, we're going to wrap up the stream. The previous guys who were responsible for this deal should be sent to prison. 100% for money laundering. Love your comment there. And you know who they are, 100%. Anyway, so big up to all of you. Gavin Underwood as well. Thank you so much. Mickey Rajat is also here to say hi. What up, Mick? Rajat, you just come in late. Apologize. We're about to close the shop. We've gone over the transfer meter, Hotometer. If you want to see the result, go visit the MUFC Realist TV. Go click on the Hotometer and follow that table because it's constantly live updated. And we'll do it to the done deal show eventually. The special one is here as well to say, hope Bissaka stays. Listen, I do like Wan-Bissaka too. Special one. I do. I really like. But apparently, like, you know, we're looking to sell him and he's got 1 year left on his contract. Is he the answer of us going forward? We will see. But if it's an important bid coming 15, 20, definitely there will be sold, man. Seriously. Listen, Millers, no worries, man. You missed the show, but watch it in Play of the Day as well. I would say thank you so much again, guys. Thank you for tuning in. This has been Mick Ruby here from the Transfer Corner, the Transfer Hotometer show. Guys, love you and leave you. We will see you to the next one. And tomorrow is the Euros again. And thank you. Glory, glory, Manchester United. Be nice to each other and eat a lot of popcorns. And whatever you're drinking, cheers, pin back your ears and enjoy your weekend. Thank you for watching. See you till the next time. Bye. Ciao.
Thank you so much for stopping by and watching MUFC Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.